CASSPER NYOVEST, the self-proclaimed king of South African hip-hop, the man who filled up stadiums, inspired a generation, and made every kid believe they could actually make it out of the hood. But here's the twist though. Somewhere along the way, fans turned on him. Once celebrated as a hero, CASSPER started trending more for memes.
The commenting, let's say I'm trash, let's say the against the music, let's say the reaction, this nigga's trash. Let's nataba, the shabaga the views, the shabaga the streams, shabaga nyoko, bunaga beat, shabana, le bafana ka ufela, lot
clapbacks, and his so-called arrogance than for his music. So, what really happened? Why did Mzansi fall out of love with the man who once carried the entire culture on his back? Well, today we are breaking it all down. Let's rewind. In the early 2010s, CASSPER NYOVEST was the underdog with a dream bigger than his bank account. Nobody wanted to sign him, so he built himself up from the scratch. Then came with the bangers, Dog Shebeleza, Kusheshe, Titomboweni. His music wasn't just hot, it was cultural currency. And when CASSPER NYOVEST said, "I'ma fill up the dome," people laughed. People didn't believe. But in 2015, he actually did it.
I feel like the only reason that will probably like be so proud, I think maybe back then anyway, I could say maybe Asansal focused it out on the music, right? So now I think people losing respect because he's not focused on the music like that, and he's like pushing other things, you know, trying to stay relevant doing other things rather than just like really like music and stuff.
A local rapper filling up a 20,000-seater arena. That was unheard of. Overnight, CASSPER became a symbol of possibility. He was more than a rapper, he was a movement. But here's the thing about being a movement. They can't run forever on a hype alone. CASSPER's greatest strength, his confidence, slowly became his biggest enemy. Fans loved his hustle at first. But when every tweet became about his money, his Bentley, or how he was the greatest, people started to side-eye him. What once felt like a motivation started sounding like an arrogance. And he actually dropped a song called "Pardon My Arrogance." Social media, of course, made it worse. Every cocky post became a meme. Every flex became a reminder that maybe, just maybe, CASSPER NYOVEST was losing touch with the fans that built him up. Then came the music slump. Let's be honest, CASSPER still drops hits, but the consistency is not the same. After Tuto, critics argued he focused more on business ventures and beefs than actually perfecting his sound. His album started getting mixed reviews. The younger audience that once saw him as untouchable started flocking to new wave artists. Avonasty, Aries, Blackie. Suddenly, the culture shifted. CASSPER was...
Yeah, man, also, if we look at it properly, it's like hot man there, man. And also, I don't think he still wants to make music like that. Because also he doesn't have competition, he wouldn't be competing against anyone. So how is there really a reason for him to stay in the game? Not if you love, doesn't need to, because he's getting paid now. You feel me? He doesn't really need to.
CASSPER was no longer the hungry underdog. He was the OG. But in hip-hop, the OG often gets replaced faster than you can say new wave. And we can't actually talk about CASSPER's downfall without mentioning the beefs. The CASSPER vs. AKA saga was legendary. One of the biggest rivalries in African hip-hop.
Keenan was the only guy that actually, you know, gave me a run for my money.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying about like competition. He can't really rap the same anymore because AK has a higher dog. You feel me? Hana competition ailing me can actually get there. I tend to go all out and stuff. So there's no reason for him to be dropping albums. Like that's why I also feel like a proper decent gig, you know. There's no consistency like that.
Guy who gave me problems. That's the guy who made me second judge myself. Second guess myself. That's the guy I used to worry about. That's true. You get what I'm saying?
We even spoke about it. I've actually mentioned it, I think, on the last episode. When I try to, because I always try to like fix things between you guys behind the scenes. And you're like, Tito, don't worry about it.
It gave CASSPER NYOVEST momentum. It gave the game energy. But it also boxed him into the corner. You see what I did there? Fans stopped caring about the music and cared more about the drama.
You must understand who you are in the room. In some rooms, I'm a nice boy. In some rooms, I'm the boss. In some rooms, I'm the ntwana. In some rooms, I'm the short collar. In some rooms, I'm a big shot. In some rooms, I'm getting shot at. You gotta know, you know, and you gotta play your part when you're in those rooms. A lot of people wanna be Grootmans in a room where they're supposed to be ice boys. A lot of people want to be ice boys in a room where they're supposed to be Grootmans. It doesn't work either way.
Even after AKA's tragic passing, people still bring up the beef when they speak about Casper. Then came the boxing matches. More sex than the substance.
When being cocky goes wrong. Never touch another man's hat.
Sure, they trended. But to fans, it looked like CASSPER was chasing clout instead of focusing on his craft. And let's be real. When people start treating your music like background noise to your scandals, that's when you've lost the plot.
Yeah.
But here's the irony though. While fans clown CASSPER for falling off, the man is still making millions. Pilato is moving bottles. His sneakers made the headlines.
If there's one thing I've realized about Casper, bruh, homeboy can invent, bruh, but he's sleeping on himself, bruh. Yo. Which ones are this one, Casper, bruh? Yo. We're just gonna see them on him, bruh. I want to know much it does like him, Petu. Or when I Casper, he posted. Now the really, know. Now the fellas are more way. I'm when I Casper, why let's have a black yo. I'm when I was just rape, I'm when I Casper, o ganne ka root of fame.
He's been on Forbes' list. CASSPER turned himself into a brand. And maybe that's the real reason people tend. Because South Africans love the underdog. But once the underdog becomes the giant, people love tearing them down just as much.
Damn, that's crazy. That's so true. Cause like it's always like that. People, like the same people that were supporting you when you're an underdog, like also want to see you fall, bro, when you get to the top. You feel me? It's like, I don't know, maybe they don't like the person you turn into. Like, I feel like mostly I'll turn into someone like that's cocky and act like you don't need them anymore. But other than that, I don't know.
CASSPER stopped being the relatable kid from Mafikeng and became the untouchable businessman.
Exactly.
To the fans, he wasn't one of us anymore. He was one of them. So, has CASSPER NYOVEST really fallen off, or did the culture just outgrow him? Some will argue he's washed. Others will say he's the blueprint. The truth, it's both. CASSPER is still one of the greatest to ever do it in South Africa, but he also became a victim of his own success. The higher he climbed, the harder the fall looked from the outside. And fans, well, they love a downfall story just as much as the successful one.
Shit.
At the end of the day, CASSPER NYOVEST doesn't need our validation. The man already filled stadiums, broke records, and
yeah, that's one thing that fans need to get out of their head. Like, hating on him is not gonna do anything for you. Hating on him is not gonna stop him from getting money.